I'm Emma Massingale and I train horses at Liberty, which means without reins or restraints. And I'm about to put my methods to the ultimate test. I bought two completely untrained, unridden Highland ponies called Hector and Hewie, and we're about to go on a big journey.
Hey boys, so this one's Hector. Hey Hector. And this one's Hewie. Hey Hewie. Hewie's not quite as friendly. They're very, very different in personality. Hewie's definitely quite shy, whereas Hector's a bit more friendly. Hewie already is putting his ears back at me and almost sort of threatening me to get out of his space and get out of his herd. Grumpy, as he thinks he's the boss. I'm sure we'll be best friends soon enough. Do you know what we've got in store for us? Hey? Going on an amazing adventure.
In this challenge, I want to build a relationship and understanding with these ponies. And to do it, I'm going to take them to the environment they were bred for. We're going to trek across their ancestral home of the Scottish Highlands. We're going to trek 100 miles, setting off from Allness Bay in the east and hopefully arriving at Untitled on the west coast 10 days later. Highland ponies are bred to be hardy and tough, but it's not going to be easy.
Whoa.
We'll have to tackle bogs, fast-flowing water, and mountainous terrain. And by the end, I'm hoping that we will have bonded enough for the ponies to let me ride them. But before the adventure starts, I need to make sure we have everything we need, as I'll be travelling alone and filming it all myself.
It's a massive challenge knowing what to pack, because obviously I need lots of things to be able to cope in the bad weather and the different climates up in the mountains, but I've got to carry it all myself, so I don't want to make it too heavy. Let me show you what I'm taking with me. I've got a cooking stove, midge repellent, and I reckon this might get some use, a midge net. Clips for tethering the horses up at night. This is a bivvy bag, which is basically just like a posh bin liner that you sleep in. Sachets of food. I've actually got one per day of these, so hopefully not going to get too hungry. And I think that's about it.
But I can't just plan the route the best way for me. I need to take into consideration how the horses live their days, when they sleep and when they eat. Over the past few weeks, I've had these trackers on my ponies. Now they've been measuring what the ponies get up to when I'm not around. They measure how many miles in a day do they like to do, when are they most sleepy, and when are they most active. And using the data I've collected, I've mapped out where and when to stop based on what works best for the horses. So we're going to do what they do in a day. I'm going to sleep when they sleep, and I'm going to be active at the times of day that they like to be most active. And I'm hoping this insider information is going to help me to have a better relationship with the ponies much, much quicker. So with everything packed and ready, we all make the journey up north to the start of our trek. And coming along for the adventure will be my rescue dog, Tati. So this is where our journey starts. I'm on the east coast of Scotland. You can see Allness Bay just behind me, but it's now time to hit the high road. Come on then, boys, let's go. As we're just getting to know each other, I'll need to lead them for the first couple of days so they don't wander off. But being completely untrained, even the most basic of obstacles seem to be daunting. But the first leg of our journey, it really is an uphill struggle.
Oh my God, we've pretty much been climbing all morning. It's been extremely hard work. Hector here is much more amenable, much braver. Hewie is quite stubborn.
Come on, Hewie.
He just drags and it just adds to the load. My rucksack's pretty heavy with all the kit in it. And when you're then having him pull on the rope all the time, it makes it just double the effort.
So far, we've been walking for 4.5 hours, and Hewie has been stalling at every opportunity. But what's really worrying me is what little influence I seem to have over them.
I feel a bit like a taxi cab driver with two backseat passengers having a good old chinwag and not taking any notice of me whatsoever.
Guys, we can't stop every 2 seconds. Come on, we'll never get there.
We've got a long way to go before these two will be able to be at liberty.
It's really worrying, as I thought they'd be more compliant than this. It's tough going, as to keep up with the schedule, we need to cover at least 10 miles a day.
Come on guys, not much further. just come down from the mountains and just come across this beautiful river. Absolutely stunning. We're all having a well-earned rest. I'm absolutely shattered. I think the ponies are too. And think I might try and find camp along the river somewhere tonight.
As the route will feature a number of water crossings, this river's the ideal place to get the horses used to going in.
I was kind of hoping they might be thirsty and they might actually come in. Good boy, Hewie. Oh, good lad, good boy, buddy. Good boy. Hi, Hector. Come on, have a look. Hector.
Hewie has been difficult all day, pulling on the rope. But now it seems Hector is playing up. He doesn't want to go anywhere near it.
Come on, Hector. Good boy. Come on, Hector. Come on, boy. Come on, boy. Good boy. There you go. Well done.
Once in, they actually seem to enjoy themselves.
What a day. Come on.
Tonight's camp is right by the riverside, and as we're still building our trust, the horses will be tethered so they can't run off.
Just tied Hewie up here, and as you can see, he's on a spinner, so he can turn himself around and he can graze this whole area quite safely. And Hector is just testing the boundaries, seeing how far he can walk around whilst attached to a tether. Good boy. Right, time to make my shelter.
Just like the ponies, for the next 10 days I'll be sleeping out in the wilderness, with no tent and just a bivvy bag to keep me warm.
And there we go. That is where I'm sleeping tonight. We've got a bit of a shelter going on, and my ponies are fast asleep over there. It's not bad, is it, guys? You all right? Good boys. Yay!
And with the fire lit, I can put my supper on. But it seems I didn't remember to pack everything.
Don't you hate it when you forget something? I forgot my spoon. So, a piece of wood it is. I'm not sure how easy eating spaghetti bolognese with a piece of wood is going to be. That looks nothing like spaghetti bolognese.
I eventually get the hang of my improvised spoon, then settle down for the night. Horses don't need as much sleep as humans, and the tracker's data I collected shows that the Highlands were most active in the morning, so it's going to be an early start tomorrow.
It's just gone 4 in the morning, and I can hear the ponies are starting to get restless, so I'm going to get up and get going. Hopefully today will be a bit easier than yesterday.
By the time the sun's coming up, we're well on our way. Setting off from the river, the aim is to finish another 10-mile leg today. But the horses are still not making it easy. However, with a little bit of gentle coaxing, there's a definite improvement. And by the end of the day, it's starting to feel like we're making really good progress.
Definitely feel happier today. Not as hard as yesterday. I don't think I could have coped if it had been as hard as yesterday. So starting our day at 4 o'clock this morning definitely made it a lot easier with the ponies. They were a lot more lively and a lot keener to walk. And using that pattern seems to be working quite well. So I'm going to try it again tomorrow. Another early start. I was really pleased the ponies were getting much braver with things underfoot. So they've never seen anything before. They're completely unhandled, untrained. They don't even know how to lead on a head collar. So day 1 leading obviously was very difficult. But today they've been going over bridges, which has been really cool.
But there has been one thing that has got a lot worse.
The midges have been out, and oh my goodness, they are horrendous. They literally try and eat you alive. So I spent the whole day in this fetching outfit. It's definitely one of the more glamorous looks.
While I need the midge net to keep them at bay, the ponies have nature on their side.
The Highlands have such a thick coat, which I'm sure helps them cope with the midges. You can see here their skin is really thick, much thicker than any other pony I've ever experienced. Good boy.
It's been a good day and the ponies are getting more used to the conditions, but they're really not getting used to me, so I need to do something about that. Horses are herd animals, and Hector and Hewie have certainly formed a strong bond. At the moment though, 2's company and 3's a crowd, so tomorrow I'll be making some changes to our dynamic. But sleeping in the wilderness is proving difficult thanks to some really unwanted attention.
I literally had no sleep whatsoever. I just woke up every hour. The midges, they'd eaten me, just itch like crazy. There are literally millions of them. They get in everywhere, absolutely everywhere.
Still itching, we get on our way. And today I'm hoping we will have completed a third of our total journey by nightfall. Once the ponies start settling into the pace, I decide to initiate my idea.
So my plan for today is to try and pal up with Hector. So we're going to pick the nicest grass, offer him the best places to stop, and really try and build on my relationship with him, as it seems to be we get on a little bit better than with Hewie.
As for Hewie, I'm taking a bit of a gamble and letting him off the lead. I'm hoping, as he sees me and Hector having a good time, that he'll want to stick with us.
You know, at home I wouldn't let the herd leader go first. He would be the one that I'd want to keep hold of. So as he's the boss of Hector, normally I would let Hector go first, but because Hector and I seem to be getting on quite well, and Huey's a bit of a grouch, and I felt this was the most likely to be successful. But the risk is always that Hewie runs the other way and says, "Come on, herd, we're going this way." Hi, Hewie. Hewie. Good boy, Hewie. Come on, then. He's definitely coming, albeit quite slowly. Okay, so it's going quite well. And Hewie definitely starting to know what his name is. When I call it, he comes, which is good. Come on, Hewie. And he's not wanting to do his own thing too much.
But just when things seem to be going well,
Whoa. Whoa. Thanks, Tati. You scared him. The dog just jumped out the hedge and they shot past me. I can't tell you how strong these Highlands are. And I'm actually really happy about that, because they shot off, but Hector didn't pull the rope straight out of my hand and run right away. They just scuttled forward and then stopped. So things are definitely heading in the right direction.
before the day is out, we need to cross another river. Thankfully, as I've already got them used to the water, this shouldn't be a problem. Well, for them anyway.
Oh. Shoot. Yes, I'm very wet.
As we make camp for the evening, I decide to get firewood to help dry off. And on my way back, I managed to make a new friend.
Oh, hello. You're a friendly dear, aren't you? You know, there is such a thing as being too close. You're supposed to be scared. Go on, off you go.
But despite my best attempts to encourage her away, she follows me all the way back to camp. She eventually wanders off. And before nightfall, I decide I'm going to take a gamble and let Hector go loose as well.
It's really nice to see them loose. We've had a really good day today. Perfect ending.
For the rest of the evening, I sit and watch them, and it's good to see a bit more dominant behaviour from Hector.
You tell him, Hector. See? You now, boss. You tell him. So that's your nice bit of grass, isn't it? That is really good to see. You know, it seems a bit brutal, but that's nothing for a horse.
But I spoke too soon. As darkness falls, the weather takes a turn for the worse, and Hector and Hewie disappear.
There's a bad storm just come in and it's frightened the ponies, and they've both run off. I can't find them anywhere. Hector! Hewie!
I decide to venture out to try and track them down, but with the limited light from my head torch, I'm really struggling.
I can't see a thing. I literally can't see anything. I can't find them anywhere.
I'm going to have to go and get some shelter myself and try and find them at first light.
But on my walk back to the camp,
I've just found the ponies. Thank goodness for that. Are you okay? Good boy. Oh, I lost you. Oh, it feels so good to know that they didn't go far and they didn't run off. Even an experienced horse would find this weather scary, so the fact that the boys have stayed really close to my camp really makes me feel like they've accepted me into their herd. Oh, we'll stick together, eh, boys?
after another early start, it's not long before we hit our first obstacle of the day. Peat bogs dominate the Highlands, and we've no choice but to go through them. With their short, strong legs, Highland ponies have naturally adapted to coping with this landscape. But Hector and Hewie have never trodden through a bog before.
Where are you going, boys? Where are you going? Where are you going?
So it's taking some getting used to.
Oh no!
Once we're on more solid land, we come across a stone hut, known as a bothy. Designed to offer shelter to wet and weary travellers just like us, and a most welcome place to get comfortable for the night.
I've never ever been so thrilled to see a roof in all my days. No midges, no ticks, no wind and no rain. In we come. Look at this. Hello, Huey. Come boys, come on in. Good boys. Good boys.
And once the horses have made their way inside, we can all start getting comfortable. And I take the opportunity to wash my hair. And once I've collected firewood, I can start preparing my supper, and it seems that our accommodation really does have everything.
The bothy's even got a spoon. So happy right now.
As the light begins to fade, the horses and I decide to settle down for the night.
I'm so looking forward to a good night's sleep, tucked up out of all the wind and rain. Aren't we, boys? You seem very happy.
After a really good night's rest, the bothy is the perfect place to step up my training with my more agreeable pony Hector.
Horses are just like any other prey animal. Their first instinct is always to run away from things that scare them. And what I don't want Hector to do is be frightened of me getting on him for the very first time. So I'm going to reprogram him a little bit by teaching him that when he's frightened of something, the best thing to do is to keep your feet still.
To do this, I'll shake something noisy next to him, and I'll only remove it when he doesn't try to move away.
That's a good boy. So Hector's got a pretty good little blue bag, so the next best thing is my bivvy bag. This is a bit bigger and a bit more provocative, it's a bit noisier. See what he makes of this one. Well, that's pretty good, isn't it?
Now, I can start to get Hector to feel more comfortable with things on his back.
Good boy. Okay, this is the first time he's had anything on his back, so it's a completely different feel and everything. Come here. Good boy, that's the way. So now he can see it out of both eyes, his right and his left, and it's flapping on both. And he's able to process that and go, okay, it's not going to kill me, it's just one of those exercises. Good boy.
Now that Hector's used to having things on his back and remaining still, I'm going to try and get on him. This is a dangerous and special moment because he's never been ridden before.
Good boy. I don't want to walk yet. Stand still.
And after a little more coaxing,
Good boy. Good boy. Walk on.
we've had a couple of really intensive training days, but it's paid off. Hector has allowed me to ride him, and although he's still adjusting to this, I'm feeling positive about his progress.
I've had a fantastic day with Hector. He's been such a good boy and really, really tried his best today. I had my first proper little ride on him, which went really well. And each time I got on him and rode him for a little while. He just felt like he was growing in confidence and was really trying his best for me.
And with these on-off rides, we've now managed to complete over 2/3 of our journey.
Now I feel like we're going to get there and we're going to be able to achieve our goal, which is really, really cool because it certainly didn't feel like that a couple of days ago. Yeah, hopefully be at the beach soon. Night-night.
Today, we'll be making our way to a waterfall I had spotted on the map. And I've decided that tonight's camp will be in the river's valley. But getting down to it is no easy task. Well, for me at least. The horses seem to handle it fine. And once we're down, I start making a few modifications to this tree that should provide me with adequate shelter for the evening.
Tonight's camp. Feeling quite confident now with the ponies. I don't think they're gonna go anywhere. So made it a little bit more permanent tonight and hope they don't run off.
So as we all start to settle into our surroundings, I decide to take a dip by the magnificent waterfall. And as I dry off and warm up, I start thinking about the experience so far.
Ponies seem really happy. They're just having a little snooze. The thing with training is you can only do it in small increments, so because they're only young horses, you can't sort of overload them and practice and practice and practice. And because we're travelling a distance as well, I have to try and balance up my day so that I've got the travelling the distance and then also teach them something as well, whilst keeping all that goodwill and positive energy there that they'd want to learn and want to look to me for some fun and different sort of interaction, like riding, for example. Hector's coming along really well and I feel very confident on him. It's just a case of now giving him enough time to build his experience and build his confidence. Just started to teach him right and left. It's only a little bit right and a little bit left, but we're getting there.
But as for Hewie, I might have to admit defeat.
Hewie, I'm sort of leaving a little bit. I'm just going to focus on Hector now. Yeah, Hewie's personality's a little bit odd. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with him.
Hewie, you're being a pain.
He had his vaccinations before he came to Scotland, and whether they've just made him a little bit sour or whether it's just his personality, I'm not sure. But I don't feel like here in the wilderness is the place to approach that with him, and we'll have a look at him when I get back home. Come on, good boy.
But one thing that can't be denied is they have come a long way from being those untrained horses that I started this journey with.
I love the way relationships with horses form. Once you get a really good relationship going, it just keeps building and building.
And that certainly seems true with Hector and Hewie, as this challenge has really seen our dynamic change.
At the start of this project, I started off following what they do, and it really feels like now they're starting to copy what I do. Here we are at, I don't know, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm lying one side of the campfire, and they're both laying down the other side, which was just unbelievable. I've never known that happen before.
So for our penultimate day, we set off from the waterfall.
Come on, let's go.
And it isn't long before we hit another peat bog.
Come on, getting deep, buddy. I'm not sure now's a good time to stop.
Only this time, Hector has to handle it with me on his back.
No, wait, don't stop here, too loud. Might take some weakness up. Good boy, good boy, good boy, Hector.
And as we make progress, the water can often be deceptively deep.
Uh-oh, getting deep. Oh, what you can do it. Good boy, good boy. Oh, good fella. Oh, what a good boy. Hi, Hewie. Oh, what a good boy. Oh, good boys. You're so clever.
As we make our way to our final camp, I'm truly impressed at the way Hector has handled himself today.
Well, it's the end of my last full day. It's only a short walk from here down to the coast. Can't believe we've made it all the way over. It certainly seemed a long time ago that I was literally dragging them through a forestry on day one. And now, you know, riding Hector, I rode him through some crazy terrain today. He went through a big river and quite deep, and went through a bog and just took it all in his stride. And you have to sort of, you know,
pinch yourself and say that this is only his third time he's ever been ridden in his life, and he's doing that so confidently. For an experienced horse to do that, you'd be pretty pleased, but for a horse that's on his third ride ever, and to feel as safe as I do on him is just awesome. I can't quite believe it, sort of pinch myself to believe it, that we've come that far, because, day 3 and 4, I just wasn't sure I was ever going to get on him. He seemed so sort of scared and jumpy and worried by everything, and now I feel totally safe and, was taking selfies and having a nice time, so yeah, things are going well.
So as the sun sets and we settle down for our final night, Hector felt it necessary to check on his friend.
It's funny because Hector pushed his nose on my rasher, sort of almost to check me if I was underneath there. It was really sweet. He was pushing his nose on it until it hit me. And that was about, an hour ago. And I've just popped my head out to see. And they're both lying now. I'm so happy about this, I can't tell you.
As the sun rises, we set off on the last leg of our journey, and we only have one more obstacle to overcome. I'm hoping Hector will let me ride him across this wide river without bolting or throwing me off.
Walk on. Walk on. Good boy. Hey, lad. Boy. Boy.
It's truly amazing how Hector has accepted me riding him in such a short space of time. Just 2 days ago, I couldn't have done this.
Boy. Yeah! Boy.
Safely on dry land, it's not long before our end goal is in sight. Finally, after 100 miles and 10 gruelling days, we have reached the west coast of Scotland.
We made it, boys. We made it. We made it, Hewie.
Although there's still more work to do with Hewie, I'm confident to introduce them to my other horses when we get back home.
Wow, that was so much harder than I thought it was ever going to be. I started off thinking it was going to be about training horses and coming across Scotland. But this journey turned out to be more about the relationship that you can build with a horse over a time, and the fact that they each day got a little bit closer to me, and each day they seemed to want to stay with me more and more, was really, really special. It's been epic.